Hello everyone, this is TechBizmo, and today I'm going to be showing you guys how you can set up a virtual machine in VirtualBox. Let's go ahead and get started. So of course, first what you want to do is go ahead and open up your Oracle Virtual Machine VirtualBox Manager. Basically, if you do not know what VirtualBox is, it is basically just your computer in a computer, I guess I could say. It's a virtualization in your computer where you can basically I'm just going to go ahead and say it. You could, use a computer inside of a computer. There's literally no other way I can, explain that, because, I'm kind of naive. I don't have a very strong vocabulary, but anyway, let's get into the tutorial. So first what you want to do is, of course, as I said, go ahead and open up your Oracle Virtual Machine VirtualBox Manager, and then the next step is to go ahead and click over here where it says New. And once you have clicked New, you will see this little window that has popped up that at the top says Create Virtual Machine, and then it says Name and Operating System. Please choose a descriptive name for the new virtual machine and select the type of operating system you intend to install on it. The name you choose will be used throughout VirtualBox to identify this machine. So basically, this is where you will put the name, the description, everything like that, and we'll get into stuff like the hard drives, hard disks, adding bootable media and stuff into later into the video. So anyway, the first step when you're in this window, you just want to go ahead and pick a name. So let's say I wanted to do something like, let me think, what type of distributions do I have on my computer? Let's see, we have I guess we'll go ahead and do MX Linux. So if I want to do MX Linux, I simply can just type in the name, or you could even do something like TechBizmo's machine, like that, if you'd really want to. But I'm just going to be doing simply MX17 Linux. I guess that will do. And then now you want to go ahead and select the version of Linux. Say it is based on Debian. You want to go ahead and select Debian, but you don't actually have to do this. Actually, most of the time I just select other Linux, as you can see over here. But in this case, I'm just going to go ahead and select Debian, since this is a Debian-based distro, and I want to use that anyway. So now you want to go ahead and select Next. Oh, also, if you're doing something like Microsoft Windows, Solaris BSD, IBM, Mac OS, and other, then you'll just select these. So stuff like Microsoft Windows, you'll just select the version of Windows, and you get the idea. So anyway, we'll go back to Debian and Next. And this is your RAM. So say I wanted to add 4 gigabytes of RAM, I would go ahead and go to 4096. That is exactly 4 gigabytes of RAM allocated, but since I have 16 gigs of RAM, I'm able to allocate 8 gigabytes of RAM. So 8192 megabytes is exactly 8 gigabytes of RAM. So we'll go ahead and do that, and go ahead after that and select Next. Now this is the point where you will be setting up a hard disk. So basically, you want to leave it as it is right now. Everything that it is by default should be good. You can just go ahead and read through this, and then you could select create a virtual hard disk now, because that's what I would typically prefer. That's what I've used most of the time, and it works great. So I'm just going to go ahead and click create. And now you want to just leave it as VDI. Well, that's the one I recommend. So as you can see, hard disk file type, just VDI, and then select Next. And now you want to leave this one on where it says storage on physical hard disk. You want to leave that to dynamically allocated, and then go ahead and select Next. And now this is going to be the name of the hard disk. So, and the gigabyte, the amount allocated. So let's go ahead and just name this. Let's just name this Linux. We'll go ahead and name our hard disk Linux. So after you have named your hard drive, this is not going to be the actual virtual machine's name, this is going to be the actual hard disk's name. So you can go ahead and choose any type of disk name. So after you've done that, this is where you will go ahead and allocate the how much storage you want on your hard drive. So I'm going to go ahead and allocate 16, but you can just up it as much as you want as long as you have enough space on your computer. So anyway, we'll just go ahead and select 16, if I can find that. There we go, that'll do. And then you want to go ahead and just select create. And there you have it. Now you have created your virtual machine, but you are not done yet. The next step is to go ahead, full screen that. Next step is to go ahead and go and select the new virtual machine that you have created and then click settings. So now at settings, you're going to be, changing stuff like the display, the system, stuff like CPUs to make it faster. So first thing I'm going to do, I'm just going to go ahead and go to display. I'm going to make this 128 megabytes, but this will depend on your type of display. As you can see, my display will not allow 2D video acceleration, so I just do 3D acceleration. Just leave everything like this, scale factor, monitor count, all of that should be fine by default. And after you've done that, this is where you will go ahead and change your processor. So if you get a processor right here, you can go ahead and select the amount of CPUs. So my computer is actually a dual core, but I think it for some reason still reads 4 CPUs, but anyway, it still allows me to do dual core in a VirtualBox. So there you have it. You can do as many cores as you want. So yeah, when it says CPU, that just means the amount of cores you are going to allocate. So I'm just going to go ahead and allocate 2 cores. As you see, if I go above 2 cores, it's going to say invalid settings detected. But it depends on your type of computer, type of processor, type of RAM, everything. Well, actually, this doesn't depend on the RAM. This just depends on, if you have a quad core, dual core, octa-core, anything like that. So anyway, you should be good to go at this point. As you can see, you can go ahead and change your RAM if you need to. Acceleration right here should be okay by default. Now is the time to go ahead and put in our ISO, our CD ISO. So what you want to do, you want to go ahead and if you've already quitted that, just go ahead and click on that again, and then settings, and then go down to here where it says storage, and then you'll see this little bar that says controller IDE, and then you want to go ahead and click on this little disk right there. As you can see, it has a little green plus next to it as well. So go ahead and click on that, and then click choose disk. And now you should be able to go to your distros folder, or if it's Windows, choose your Windows ISO. But I'm just going to be doing MX Linux in this case, so we'll go ahead and select that. So now we are pretty much done. You just have to go ahead and click OK, and now we should be able to boot up our operating system. So we'll go ahead and click start and see if it was a success. And there you have it. There you have we are in a VirtualBox in MX Linux, or MX Linux in a VirtualBox. So as you can see, that's really cool. I like how VirtualBox works. Oracle's are really they're the developers of VirtualBox are really cool. So anyway, here we are in MX Linux, and it takes a couple seconds to change the screen resolution. And now we are in MX Linux, so I can go ahead and install it, install my programs after I've installed it through the installer. So yeah, there you go, guys. There is a I hope you found helpful tutorial. This also works in Mac, in Linux, in Windows, pretty much anything that allows the program called Oracle VirtualBox. Well, anyway, guys, it has come towards the end of this video now. Thank you guys very much for watching. Comment, like, and subscribe, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.